First language English class, and the lesson that we have chosen is the third lesson of your textbook, that is the collectors. Here children, in this slide you can see two pictures given to your left and to your right. The one in the left looks like an object and the other one to the right looks like some being. Can you guess what is this and who he is or who she is? I think most of you might have guessed it. To the left, it is a spaceship which carries aliens, and to the right, it is someone who looks like a human being, that is, an alien which can take any kind of a form. Yes? Okay. Now, in this particular lesson called the collectors, why the name given to this lesson as collectors are nothing but, here in this lesson we have 11 characters. We have 6 school children, 3 teachers of the school and 2 aliens. So totally 11 characters we have. When these children and teachers went on an adventure walk, it started to rain. So they had to take shelter in one particular house. For their surprise, this house was not a real house that they found when they went inside the house. They took the permission of those 2 people who were residing in that particular house, and they entered it. And after entering, because of some sequence of activities that happened in that house, they got to know that is not a real house and those people are not real human beings. What happened then? These people who were residing in the house were ready to take them to a place where it is not known to human beings. So that means they were aliens. Now, when these aliens are ready to take all the 6 people who are inside the house, then what do we call them as? They are the collectors of anything that is on the earth. That is the reason this lesson is named as the collectors. Then what happened? Did they take these children and the teachers to their place? To their world? Why do usually aliens take people from earth? To do some experiments. Did they do that? Let us know in the lesson. It is a small play, not a small play children, it's a big play. We'll see what it is and who all are those children, who are those teachers and what are the names of them, what are the names of the aliens. Okay? Coming to the names of those children, teachers and the aliens, we have Pete, Carol, Tracy, Glenn, Wayne, Dwan, Mr. Hunt, Miss Van, Mrs. Johns, Mrs. Browns, Mr. Brown. So now the first 6 names are the names of the children. Mr. Hunt, Mrs. Van, Mr. Hunt, Miss Van, Mrs. Johns are the teachers. Mrs. Brown and Mr. Brown are the 2 aliens. Okay, now I have introduced the characters to you. Let's see how this drama, or we call as a play, starts. Okay. The first scene is, it's a lonely countryside, that is a little away from the village. They are very, not too far, but a little far from the village, and it's a very lonely place, deserted kind of a place. So the scene was like the children are out for an adventure walk with their teachers. It is raining hard. Okay, I had already told you. Now, here we have 3 teachers, Miss Van, Mr. Hunt and Mrs. Johns. These 3 people will have a conversation among themselves. What was the conversation? Miss Van will say, isn't there somewhere we can shelter? So Mr. Hunt says, not until we can reach the temple. Until we reach the village, we can't take shelter anywhere. Mrs. John says, how far is that particular village now from here? Then Mr. Hunt says, nearly 3 miles. Nearly 3 miles we have to go to reach the village. By then, Dwan and Tracy are children. of the school. Dawn will say, 3 miles. Oh my God, was his expression. Tracy says, I am soaked. Now itself I'm completely soaked in the water, and the time I reach there I'll be completely soaked, she says. Miss Swan says, the children are getting very wet. Mr. Hunt say, I can't help that. We'll just have to press on. Press on means continue to move. We can't stand here. Petey says, can't we shelter over there, sir? He will point at something and he will say to the sir that can't we go and shelter over there. Mr. Hunt was like, where? Petey says, there in that house. Mr. Hunt says, that's not a house surely. Hard to see in all the rain. He says, that doesn't look like a house. There is no house at all. Hardly we can see in this particular rain. Miss Swan says, of course it is. Try wiping your glasses. She says, of course there is a house, sir. Try wiping your glasses so that it will not blur your view. So Mr. Hunt says, you're right. Lonely place to choose for a house. He says, yes, you're right. There is a house over there after wiping his glass. Then he says, it's a lonely place to choose as a house. How can somebody construct a house in such a place, was his question. It certainly wasn't there when I was here working last summer. Last summer when I had come here, it was not there. How can I see a house here now, was his question. Then what happens? Let's see in the next slide. So Mrs. John says, funny looking place. This place looks really very funny. Miss Swan says, are we just going to stand here in the downpour gaping at it? She says, are we going to stand here in this particular downpour means rain? Gaping means wide open at it. We are not taking any shelter. We are widely open for the rain here. Are we standing like this some more time? She asks. Dawn will say, yes, can't we go up there and ask for shelter, sir? He asked like this. Mr. Hunt says, we can't take all your crowd into a private house. You are dripping wet. He says, we can't take you all. I mean to say, we are all 9 in numbers and I can't take you all over there into a private house. You people are completely wet and dripping down. I mean to say, you completely wet and the water is dripping from your clothes and everything. Mrs. John says, there is probably a shed or garage. We could shelter there. I could see a garage or a shed over there. We can shelter over there. Miss Swan says, we can at least ask. Instead of standing like this, let us go and ask. Wayne says, yes sir, why not? Tracy says, I'm freezing. Come on sir, please let us go, was the indication of them. Then Mr. Hunt finally agreed. Oh, all right, let's move. Next, what happens? Second scene starts. In this scene, inside the kitchen of the house, they have now asked the permission of those people who were residing inside, and those people have given them they have agreed to take them inside the house. Now these children and the 3 teachers have come inside. What happens next? Inside the kitchen of the house, the scene will start. Mrs. Brown is standing with all the children and teachers. Mr. Brown comes in through the outer door. Now, Mrs. Brown is standing with the children and the teachers in the kitchen. Mr. Brown will come from the outer door. From the outer door, he comes inside. So, these Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown are the residents of that particular house. Now, they don't know that they are aliens. Then what happens? Mr. Brown, I have hung up all the wet clothing in the porch. Porch is a entrance area. Now, in that particular place, I have hung all the wet clothing of yours. Mr. Hunt says, I don't know why I'm still holding this walking stick. He says he was holding a walking stick. He says, why am I even holding this walking stick? I don't know. Mr. Brown says, give it to me. I'll put it outside with the other things. Other things like clothing that I have hung over the veranda. In that particular place, I'll also keep this. So Mr. Hunt says, it's all right. I'll hang it on the back of this chair, of this particular chair. I will hang it out. Mrs. Brown says, now that we all have introduced ourselves, why don't you children sit down? For the children, she asked them to sit down in the kitchen. And Mr. Brown will say, and the grown-ups can come through into this sitting room. Mrs. Brown will ask the children to sit in the kitchen. Mr. Brown will tell the grown-ups, that is the 3 teachers, to come and sit in the sitting room. Mrs. Brown, you children will be all right here, won't you? There isn't room enough there for everyone. She says, children, I hope you all will be comfortable sitting in this kitchen because there is no enough place for all of us to be accommodated in that particular sitting room, she says. Carol, yes, thanks. Glenn, oh yes. Pete, where we will be fine. So these children started to say, oh yes, no thanks. We will be very happily sitting here. No problem. We don't have any problem sitting here. Children will start saying to Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Johns, thank you very much for taking us in like this. Mr. Brown, our pleasure. When Mrs. John says, we are very much happy that you people have uh, actually left us inside your house. So Mr. Brown says, it's our pleasure, madam. Then Mrs. Brown say, there is a fresh pot of tea made in the other room. Would you like a cup? So for the teachers, Mrs. Brown will say, in the other room there is a tea kept, fresh pot of tea that I have prepared now. Do you like to have a cup? She asks. Mrs. Swan, I'd love one. Mrs. Johns, so would I. Mrs. Brown, would you like to come through then? So what happens when these people are asking whether you will have a cup of tea which has been prepared? All the teachers were like, okay, then I will surely have it. I would be pleased to have it, they were saying. So Mrs. Brown will go. Mrs. Brown along with Mr. Brown will go to fetch that particular tea. Okay, now let's see what is the next scene. Now Mr. and Mrs. Browns and the three teachers go out. The children are silent for a moment or two, looking round. Now in the other room there was a tea, that is in the sitting room. Now Mr. and Mrs. Brown will take the teachers to the sitting room. They will leave the children in the kitchen to have some tea in that particular sitting room. Now what happens? The children are silent for a moment or two, looking round. What will children do usually? They will simply sit and see first what all are there. They will observe. This is what was happening for 2 minutes, just 1 or 2 moments, for just a moment or two. Then what happened? Wayne, you can't hear any sound of that wind in here. Tracy, no, it's terribly quiet. Weird. Weird is nothing but strange it is. The wind sound that is outside is not heard inside. Dwan, I can't just hear their voices in the sitting room also. Forget about the wind outside. I am not able to hear the voices of those who are sitting in the sitting room. Glenn, it's cold in here too, but it is very cold inside also. Wayne, maybe we feel cold because we are tired from that walking. He says, from all the walking that we have done, we are tired. That is why we are feeling cold. Tracy, and we did get wet. And also we got wet. No, that is the reason we are all we are feeling very cold. Glenn, no, not just that. It is cold. Not just because we are wet. Not just because we have walked all the way around. We are feeling cold, he says. Pete, and empty. This kitchen reminds me of a hospital. Where do they wash up? So he was like, when everybody are talking about getting cold and feeling a different kind of an environment, he also adds up saying, and this place looks very empty and the kitchen reminds me of an hospital. Everything is just empty. And where do they wash up? Will they wash their hands in pots somewhere? He is questioning. Then obviously Dwan sees to a sink and he'll say, in the sink there. Tracy, or the washing up machine. Maybe in the washing machine or in the sink they might wash up. Pete says, there is nothing like that. Okay, they will wash in a sink or in a washing kind of a machine. But there is nothing like that seen here. Carol, there is nothing standing about either. No plates, no pots and pans. Things like that. There is no plates, no pans, no pots. Things like this is not seen in this house. There is nothing like a washing machine or anything is standing upon. Sink, nothing is there. Dwan, they'll put away in cupboards. They might put them all in the cupboards. That is the reason we are not able to see, Dwan says. Then what happens? What kind of a question again comes to these children? Let's see. So what happens? Wayne opens a cupboard near the back door. Now there was a cupboard over there near the back door. He will open it. Wayne, this one is quite empty. Wayne will say, this one is quite empty. There is nothing in this particular cupboard. Dwan says, don't go poking about. Wayne, don't go poking means don't go digging about. Don't go to see what is there in that. Come this side, Wayne, he says. Pete opens the fridge door. Now Wayne opened the cupboard. Pete will open the fridge door. Pete will say, there is nothing at all in this fridge. and the light's not on. It's not even working. He says, there is nothing in this fridge, and once you open the fridge, the light has to be on. There is no light also. It is not even working. Tressé says, leave things alone, you too. That means to Wayne and to Pete. Tressé says, you too, please leave the things alone. It's cheeky to snoop. Besides, they might come in and catch you. It is very cheeky, that is disrespectful. To snoop means poking again, digging on something what is there inside. So it is very disrespectful to do like that. They might come and catch you, she says. Now what happens? Pete, funny you should say that. So did I. So now comes to Carol. Carol says, I thought there was something a bit strange about Mr. and Mrs. Brown. He adds upon, now about the fridge over, about the cupboard over, about that particular place where nothing is there was being spoken. Now Carol will say, there is something strange in Mr. and Mrs. Brown also. Pete was like, funny you should say that. So did I. Funny it is. You shouldn't have said that, but still, I also feel it. Glenn say, perhaps they are crooks. This is their hideout. They are crooks means dishonest people. They might be dishonest people. They are simply coming and hiding in this particular place. This is a hideout place for them. Tressé was like, they'd hardly have let us in if they were crooks. Would they? Crooks means if they are dishonest people, they wouldn't have left us to come inside this particular place if they are only the people who are hiding here. Why will they allow us? They have left us. So be thankful was her intention in telling this sentence. Dwan, no, that's silly. He says, no, actually that is silly. Then what happens? After Glenn, Pete, both were saying that yes, these people were actually crooks or something. Tressé and Dwan said, you people shouldn't talk like that. They have allowed us to take shelter in this particular house. So let's just not talk about it. Then Carol say, maybe we ought to have gone on walking to the village. We should have just gone on walking on the in the path of the village. Dwan say, we would have got drenched. If we would have walked simply like that, we would have drenched. So it is better we have come inside. Let us shut our mouths inside. Let us not talk anything wrong about these two people, that is Mr. and Mrs. Browns. Now Mrs. Browns come back to the room. Now Mrs. Brown will come to that particular kitchen and she will ask, all right here, good? Do you feel good here? Do you feel all right here? She notices the partly open cupboard door. Now who had opened? Wayne had opened that particular cupboard. Now she sees that the cupboard was partly open. Oh, were you looking for something in that cupboard? Oh, were you people looking something in that particular cupboard? Dwan says, it was Wayne. He was being nosy. What is that nosy means? Want to check out something, whatever that is there in that particular. Is there something in the cupboard? He was very much nosy. He wants to know what is in the cupboard. So it is Wayne, Dwan will say. Mrs. Brown, I see. So it is all the work of Wayne. Okay, I see was her expression. Then what happens? Let's see. Now after she got to know that it is all Wayne's work, she closes the door looking at Wayne. She will give a different kind of a look to Wayne and she will close the door. Wayne says, I didn't mean any harm. We just wondered where you put your plates and things. I just wanted to know where you put your pots, plates and everything because we don't see anything as such outside. So Mrs. Brown say, I had rather you didn't touch anything. We had just moved in and haven't had time to sort things out. That's why this place looks rather deserted. Deserted means empty. So she says, we have just come to this particular place. We didn't have much time to sort everything out. So it is still looking empty. But in few days, we are going to arrange everything was her intention to say. Pete, we only wondered. We only felt why this place is so empty. There is nothing. Then Mrs. Brown say, yes. Well, would you all like a drink? Okay, you people might have wondered. Okay, fine. Now would you like to have some tea? She asks. Then, not tea. Would you like to have some drink? She'll ask all the 6 children. Tressé was like, I would. Glenn was like, me too. Mrs. Brown, Will orange juice be all right? When Tracy and Glenn said, yes, I would like to have some drink, Mrs. Brown will ask, will the orange juice be fine for you all? Wayne say, yes, please. Dwan says, fine, thanks. So, it's okay if you give me or if you give us orange juice also, no problem. The others nodded. The other four children nodded. Then what happened? Mrs. Brown, good, and remember, please leave these cupboards alone. So she adds up saying, okay, good. You people better leave these cupboards alone. I'll go bring the drinks, but don't touch the cupboards. Let them be alone. Wayne, we will not touch again. Wayne was the one who opened it. No, so he says, well, okay, I will not touch it. We will leave it alone. Pete, don't worry, Mrs. Brown. Pete says, don't worry, Mrs. Brown. We will look after. Then Mrs. Brown was like, okay. She looks at the closed door of a large cupboard on the opposite wall. On the opposite wall, there was a large cupboard which was closed. She will give a look at it. Do remember that? I'll go and get those drinks. She will look at that cupboard which was closed. This cupboard which was open near the back door was okay, fine. You people opened. Now you shouldn't do it. She warned them. And now she also gives a look at the opposite cupboard which was standing, and she'll say, do remember, I am going now to bring the drinks. She goes out. Carol, did you see her hand? Dwan, no, what happened? Now the question arises about their appearance. About Mrs. Brown's appearance. Till now, they didn't observe. Now some of the children have observed. What happened? Carol will ask, did you see her hand? Dwan was like, no, what happened? Then see, children, what will happen. Now Carol has actually observed something weird in her hands. What was it? Carol, when she closed that cupboard door, I could see, I looked, she has 7 fingers on both hands. So he was observing that when she closed the door, he could see 7 fingers in both her hands. Tracy was like, oh, horrid. You are saying something very horrifying. Pete says, I was watching her eyes. When Carol was watching her hands, Pete and Glenn were watching her eyes. What was the difference? Glenn, yes, as far as I could see, they were all in one color. They didn't have any black sort of centers. So we all have white and black, but they had only white kind of a thing, but no black sort of a centers. Wayne was like, go on, she could be something weird like a vampire. Vampire is nothing but ghost or a Dracula. She could be something like that. Tracy and Dwan were scared. So Tracy says, oh, shut up. Dwan also says, yes, shut up. You're making all this up to scare us. You're making all these stories to scare us. Pete says, no, we are not making up stories. It's true. Tracy was like, I don't want to stay here. I just have to move. This girl is a little funny here. Wayne, I'll tell you something. That rain has changed to thick fog outside. I have been watching it. I have been watching it from a very long time. The rain has now turned to fog. We can't very easily step out. Then what happens? Glenn says, yes, you can't see anything out of that window. From this window, are you able to see anything out? No, it is completely filled with, the outside environment is completely filled with fog. Then what happens? Let's see. Then coming to Carol, he says, no, I hope it doesn't mean we are going to have to stay here all night. Carol says, that doesn't mean we have to stay here the whole night. Tracy was like, stay here all night? Not me, you people stay, was her answer. Dwan, I don't fancy that. I don't like that. Fancy means I don't like that either. Let's go. Even I don't like to stay here. Let's just go. Glenn says, we can't just slide off. Slide off means moving away quietly. We can't move away quietly. Pete, I'll go and tell Mr. Hunt and the others how we feel. Let us go and tell our teachers how we are feeling inside. He goes out. After he goes out, Wayne will start talking. Pete has gone to inform this to their teachers who are sitting in the sitting room. Now Wayne inside will start the conversation. It is all a bit mysterious. Mysterious means difficult to understand or different to understand. So it is all a bit mysterious. I wonder what's in that other cupboard. She gave a look at the other cupboard which was opposite to this cupboard which Wayne had opened. Now he feels mysterious about that cupboard. He says, Dwan say, leave it alone. You have already opened one and got to arise. Now leave it alone was Dwan's answer. Tracy says, if she catches you, she'll be mad. She gets angry now when she catches you going and opening that cupboard. Wayne says, she won't catch me. Wayne was so confident that she can't catch me. Then what happens? He opens the cupboard door. Behind it are dials, digital readouts, colored lights, and a mass of other electronic equipments. When Wayne opened that particular door, behind it, when he opened it, he could see the dial pads, digital readouts, all are colored lights, and mass of other electronic equipments were installed in that particular cupboard. Glenn was like, what on earth is all that doing there? What on earth is all that doing there inside that cupboard? All electronic equipments are there in the cupboard. No, what is it? Wayne was like, is it some kind of a computer? Wayne asks, is it some kind of a computer? Carol says, those things are they figures or words. Those things which are seen on the digital readouts, what we could see, are they figures or words? Glenn, some kind of foreign language. Forget it. It might be some kind of a foreign language which can be understood only by them. Tracy says, look at all those lights. Why are all those lights digital readouts, dials? Are they computers? Are they some other foreign language? All these questions comes to their mind. Then what happens? Let's see. Then Dwan says, it's real space age stuff. So he says, this looks like a space age stuff. Something like a spaceship stuff. Glenn, what could it be for? What is the use of it? Wayne says, spying. Spying means detecting. Glenn, you think so? Do you think it is for detecting something or spying something? Carol, close the door. Someone's coming. Close the door, Wayne. Someone is coming. They close the door, but it doesn't quite shut. Petty comes back in. They were trying to close the door, but it was not getting shut. So, when they saw it was Petty who came inside. Now Petty will start telling. Petty, I think we need help. I think we really need help, my dear friends. Carol, what did Mr. Hunt say? Nothing, he couldn't. Petty say, no, nothing he said. He couldn't. Couldn't means what? Wayne will ask. Petty, I went quietly. I was a bit scared. The door of the other room was partly open. I saw Mr. Hunt first sitting there, not moving, staring at nothing. Staring at nothing is something like a sense of drugged. So he says, I could go there. I was scared. I quietly moved in and I could see Mr. Hunt sitting over there. He was looking at one particular thing, not moving at all. I felt he is drugged as his indication of telling this. Glenn says, you mean he was thinking about something when he said staring at nothing means you mean he is thinking about something? He was tired? Glenn asks, was he tired? Was he thinking about something? Petty say, no, I do not. He was drugged. He gives a statement that he was drugged. Miss Swan and Mrs. Johns are the same. I crept a bit closer, then I could see them too. They were sitting there blank as if they had been turned to stone. So what happens is, Petty says, no, they were not. I could not say that Mr. Hunt was thinking about something. He is surely drugged, and Miss Swan and Mrs. Johns were also sitting over there, really very blank, and as if they are stones. They were not moving. I feel they are drugged is what Petty's answer was. Then what happens? Then Carol says, and Mr. and Mrs. Browns, where were they? Our teachers were drugged, you're saying. Where are these two people? Petty. They were looking at them and I don't know, talking. He could see those two people. These three teachers were sitting. These two people were looking at them. And I don't know whether they are talking. Carol, what were they saying? When you say they are talking, what were they saying? Petty, no idea. They weren't really talking. It sounded, they were just sort of hissing and clicking at each other. Hissing and clicking is nothing but sound made by aliens for talking. So, aliens usually make some sound while talking to each other. That is nothing but hissing and clicking at each other. Now he says, they were not actually talking, they were hissing and clicking at each other. Tracy, I want to get out of here. This place looks really very weird. Very strange. I want to get out of here was Tracy's answer. Wayne, I am getting out right now. He says, I will surely get out right now. I will not stop for anyone. He goes to the back door and tries to open it. He will go and try to open the back door. Front door, they can't go now. Back door, he tried. It is locked. Look, there is no key also. It is locked, he says. Dwan, let me try. No, it's just won't open. Dwan will also try and he will also say it is not going to happen. It will not open. Glenn, how about the window? Let us try opening the window was Glenn's answer. Wayne tries the window. He will try to open the window. Wayne says, no chance. It won't move. The window will not move at all. There is no chance of opening it. Tracy, smash the glass. We have got to get out. Tracy says, somehow we have to get out. Smash the glass also, no problem. Then what happens? Will they smash? Let's see. So, Carol, here, try Mr. Hunt walking stick. Use that Wayne. So, Mr. Hunt, before going inside the sitting room, he will hang that particular walking stick to the chair in the kitchen. So, take this particular Mr. Hunt's walking stick, use this Wayne and open the window's glass, he says. Wayne tries to break the glass with the stick. Wayne, it won't break. He hit the glass again. It just bounces off. It is not getting braked. It is just bouncing off. Glenn, let me try. Glenn says, let me try my best now. He takes the walking stick and uses it. Now, he will try to open it. But he takes it. It's no use. The glass is like steel. There is no use. The glass is really like steel. Pete, come on. We'll see if there is a way out through the front. Pete says, no use of doing all these things. Let's go and see if there is a way for us to escape from the main door. They began to crowd towards the kitchen door when Mrs. Brown comes in with a tray of drinks. Now Mrs. Brown these children, all 6 children were crowding towards the doors of the kitchen. Mrs. Brown will enter with a tray of drinks. Mrs. Brown, good heavens, what's all this row? Romans, why you people are crowded here? Going somewhere? What on earth have you children been doing? What you people are doing here now? Why are you all crowded towards the door now? Carol says, we want to leave. We want to go now. Mrs. Brown, in this fog, how can you? In this fog, you can't go. How can you go? She asks. Pete, what have you done to Mr. Hunt and the others? Pete asks, what have you done to our master and the other people? Mrs. Brown, done? Nothing. We have been having a cup of tea. Nothing we have done. We have just having a cup of tea. Carol says, Pete says you have drugged them. Now Carol will say, my friend Pete said that you have drugged our teachers. Mrs. Brown say, nonsense. Where in the world did you get that idea from? Where did you get this idea from? How can we drug them? Was her answer. Then we'll see what happens. She notices the cupboard left partly open. So now she will see the cupboard which is partly open. First cupboard was opened by Wayne. She warned him. Now the second cupboard which was opposite to it has also been opened. Now she gets angry. I do wish you would have the courtesy not to interfere with these cupboards. Courtesy means showing good behavior. I thought you people at least have good behavior, will show good behavior with these cupboards. But you people are not doing it. You people are interfering, she says. Glenn, what is that stuff in there? He asks. Okay, we have opened. But what is the stuff that is inside this cupboard? Mrs. Brown say, what do you mean by stuff? It is electronic equipment. It belongs to my husband. He is a scientist. It's part of his work. She says, what do you mean by that word stuff? Come on, it is electronic equipment and it belongs to my husband, she says. And though he is first of all a scientist and it is used for his work. It is his part of the work. Pete says, and why is the back door locked? Okay, forget about all that. But I want to know, why is the back door locked? Mrs. Brown say, it always locks when you close it. It is a burglar-proof lock. Burglar-proof means thief, fully safeguard. Proof lock means fully safeguarded thief. I mean, if any thieves come, it will not get opened. Or if the thief enters in, he can't go out. So it is such kind of a lock. The windows are burglar proof too. Even the windows are burglar proof. It cannot be broken so easily. My husband doesn't want to run the risk of having an expensive equipment stolen. So we have a very expensive equipment. He is a scientist first of all. So if it is getting stolen, we can't take that. So we don't want to take that chance. So we have made the windows and the doors a burglar proof. So Tracy says, they have been trying to scare us, saying there was something strange about this house and about you. Tracy says, these people, all the other 5 are scaring us, saying that there is something wrong with this house and you people. So we are very much scared. She says, then what was the answer of Mrs. Brown's? We'll see. So when Tracy says that these people are scaring about saying about something nonsense about Mr. and Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Brown will answer, how dare you, after we have taken you in and looked after you, after I have gone through the trouble of getting these drinks for you, the least you can do is to sit quietly and drink them. So she says, we have left you inside and given you shelter. After taking so much effort of making you drinks and everything, you people give us such an answer. You people think so bad about us. How can you do like this? The least thing that you can do is to sit silently, quietly and drink this. She says, Petty, I bet they have drugged, just like the tea you gave Mr. Hunt and the others. So he says, in this drink also you might have put some drugs so that we also go drugged like our teachers, as you have done for them with the tea. Mrs. Brown say, now just stop that kind of talk. Now I can't hear you talking all these things. Just stop it, she says. Petty, I saw them. You have got them in the other room drugged. He continues. He will stand on the point that you have really drugged them. I have seen my teachers being very much silently sitting there without any moving positions. So Mrs. Brown say, you saw nothing of sort. They are all chatting to Mr. Brown right now. There can't be anything as such happening over there. Mr. Brown is talking to them all in the sitting room. Carol says, ask them to come in here then, so we can see them. Carol says, at least ask them to come here if that is the case. If they are not drugged, let them come here and talk to us. Mrs. Brown says, certainly not. I am not dragging them in here just because of a lot of children's silly fantasies. So she says, no, I can't ask them to come here just because you people. Fantasies means activity of imagining impossible. So you people have very badly imagined something, some activity which is very much impossible, and I can't bring them here and make a drama over here. I can't do that. I'll not bring them, she says. Glenn says, well, let us go in there and see them. At least leave us to go and see them, is the Glenn's answer. Mrs. Brown says, no, you don't. I am not going to be ordered about by children. No, I don't want children to be ordered. I don't want me to be ordered by you people. I will not let you people also to go and see your teachers, she says. Then what happens? Now the children were ready to go out to see their teacher sitting in the sitting room, but Mrs. Brown will stop them. She bars the way through the door. Carol says, she can't stop us on her own if we all try to go. If she is alone and we are all 6 in number, and she can't stop us when we try to go. So Mrs. Brown will say, all right, I'll go and fetch one of your teachers, stupid children. She says, okay, I'll go and fetch one of your teachers. Then you can get to know that we are not doing anything to them. You people are really stupid, she says, and she goes out. Dwan says, Dwan and Tracy are always in a positive mode. Dwan says, see, she is going to bring them. Tracy says, they aren't drugged at all. You were trying to scare us. Dwan says, you are stupid, Petty. So these two will say they are not like that. They are good people only. They didn't drug our teachers. You are a stupid person, Petty. Dwan says. Tracy says, it's an ordinary house and they are all ordinary people only. Dwan, frightening us like that? You're rotten. Rotten means you're a bad boy. You frightened us like this. Amma, was this kind of an answer? Petty, I know what I saw. Give us that walking stick, Glenn. Glenn, here you are. So Petty says, see, you might not believe, but I know what I have seen. I will believe my eyes. Now he will order Glenn to give the walking stick which was hung over the chair. Whose stick was that? Mr. Hunt's stick it was. Glenn will give that. When the Glenn was about to give Petty the stick, Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown will come inside the kitchen. What will happen? Carol says, where is Mr. Hunt? Where is our teacher, Mr. Hunt? Mr. Brown says, he won't be coming and you had better drink. You better drink whatever is given to you. He will not be coming is the answer given by Mr. Brown. Petty says, Don't anybody touch that stuff. He will order his friends to not to touch that particular drinks. Mr. Brown say, it will make no difference. You can't escape anywhere. Brown will say, okay, you don't drink the drinks that is given to you. But it will not make any sense. You people cannot escape from here anyways. Wayne was like, oh no, come on Glenn. Let's get past them. Wayne says, come on Glenn, let us just go past from them. Glenn says, okay, right. Glenn and Wayne were about to move outside. What happens? Let's see in the next class, children. Till here what I have done, I will briefly summarize very soon in the next slide. I want you to have that enthusiasm in you till I come with the next class for you all. Till here, what happened? Let's see. So, children, from the first slide to here, if I have to simply breeze, these 6 children were on a adventure walk with their teachers, with their 3 teachers, to a countryside. But while they were returning back to their village, there was a huge rainfall, so they had to take shelter. They saw a single house in that deserted place where they went and asked for the shelter, and the people who were residing in that particular house let them inside. After getting inside, the children were made to sit in the kitchen, saying that in the sitting room there is no enough space for them to sit, and the teachers were taken to the sitting room. And the people who were residing in that particular house were Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown will take tea and give the teachers to have a drink, whereas these children were sitting in the kitchen and just observing the things inside the kitchen. The children could see that the kitchen was completely empty and there was no pots, no plates, no pans and nothing. They were all feeling weird about the particular place. Wayne tried to open the cupboard and could see there was nothing. Mrs. Brown will now come and see that the cupboard was a little open because it was not closed properly. And she says, better don't touch anything. We have just moved to this place, so we didn't have enough time to sort the things out. That is why it looks a little empty. After that, these children could identify one thing. That is, Petey could see and also Glenn could see that Mrs. Brown had nothing sort of black in color in her eyes. The complete eyes were in white in color, and their hands and her hands were having 7 fingers in each. So this made them feel as if they are vampires. Everything in the house, along with the people in the house, looked very different. They were not according to what humans are. So they felt they have to move out of the house. And Petey wanted to inform about this to their teacher. When he went to see their teacher, the teachers were all looking very dull. They were drugged. They were all not moving. They were stick to one place and seeing somewhere, and they looked as if they are thinking something, but actually they were drugged. And Mr. and Mrs. were talking to each other in the form of hissing and clicking. So this actually brought a lot of confusion in Petey's mind, and he comes and tells there is something wrong here. When Petey was in the motto of seeing what actually has happened to their teachers, and when he was about to go and tell their teachers what is happening, here Wayne opened the other cupboard which was opposite to it. And in that cupboard, he could see all the different lights, digital readouts, electronic equipments, and they were confused. What kind of a thing is this? All got to know that it is some kind of a spaceship, equipments of a spaceship. And they were all worried. What could this place all be? They thought of moving out, and they tried to smash the windows. They tried to open the back door, but it was not happening. Then Petey comes telling that his teachers are drugged, and they were all scared. Meanwhile, they were about to go out of the kitchen all the six, but Mrs. Brown stops them. And when Mrs. Brown heard that these children are spying on them, these children are having a different kind of an opinion on them, she gets angry. And she'll argue saying that the cupboard is her husband's scientific research equipment, which is more useful. And the door and the window are burglar proof because thieves shouldn't come and steal it, because it is very important and very costly ones. She gives all these justifications, but still the children will not believe her. They wanted to go and see their masters, but still she will say, sit here, I will go and bring one of your teacher. But she goes and comes without any teacher along with her husband, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown will order the children to drink the drinks. But the children did not do it. Pete ordered his friends to not to touch the drinks. Then Mr. Brown says, whatever the case is, even if you don't drink, no problem. But you can never escape from this particular place, was his order, was his saying. All the children were scared. What happens next? Now, till here I have explained you children. Since it's a very big play, it's a very big drama, I want to cut here, and the next sequences I will explain it to you in the next class. In the next class you will get to know what will the teachers do, what will the students do, how will the students escape from that particular place, and how Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown are going to learn a lesson that humans are really stronger. We cannot play with humans. Humans are brilliant. This is the message of this lesson. Okay, about that we will see in the next